one of the things that Biden did was he actually, when I was working for him, it was in the works, was the crime bill.
Right.
And that crime bill resulted in statistically incarcerating, so many people, mostly Black and brown, and his argument for it, he even used, horrendous phrases like jungle. And, he was very racist in his language. But like,
Yeah.
what are you seeing any rhetoric change, or how can you, okay, let me rephrase that. How can you bring together people that are saying, hey, look, I'm scared, I'm seeing some violent crime, I'm seeing robberies or home invasions or like other violent crimes, sexual assault, whatever it is. How do we have a balanced approach to where there's consequences, but not necessarily just mass incarcerations?
Yeah, and I don't know if I fully answered your question last time, but I have not seen the Biden administration in Texas except for after the Uvalde massacre.
Yeah.
That was the only time that I know that he's been in this state. So yeah, I know that a lot of statistics, it really just feels like the media narrative is there's a crime wave and the agenda seems to be to fund the police and fund the prison industrial complex more. And, scientifically, those things don't make safer communities. So, the people, I don't really hear a lot of families, parents concerned with crime. That's not something, again, they're really worried about. I know some, more reactionary people who are just, paranoid, really. And to an extent, I do understand because, we do have a high population of unhoused people. We do have a high population of people that have mental illness that are untreated, and you know what I mean. So those things can really impact communities, and I do understand that. But again, like you think about statistically, these policies that the progressives are pushing are unhelpful for tackling the problem. If you're worried about crime, you invest in housing and education. You don't fund the police more. They already have usually half or more of most municipalities' budgets. And so, you got to think like, okay, maybe if we had more after school programs, maybe if kids weren't hungry throughout the school day, things like that. It's systemic issues that we need to worry about, not, whatever the media narrative is.
Fair enough. And then I, one thing that came up, that I've seen some people approach me, I used to work as a domestic violence advocate, and I believe, there was a lot of incarceration around DV, and it didn't help. In the 20 years that I was doing that work, either as a volunteer or staff somewhere, the statistics got worse, not better. Incarcerating people isn't always the answer. So we need a holistic wraparound services to kind of address that issue is kind of my take on it. But how that looks is really up to communities and not necessarily the federal government, right? That would be up to more state or local people to figure out, okay, let's address this.